In the annals of criminal history, few names resonate as powerfully as Pablo Escobar. The notorious Colombian drug lord who once controlled an estimated 80% of the global cocaine market was as infamous for his ruthlessness as he was for his cunning. Perhaps no event better encapsulates Escobar's audacity and the Colombian government's struggles to contain him than his escape from La Catedral prison on July 22, 1992. This essay delves into the circumstances surrounding Escobar's imprisonment, the unique conditions of his confinement, and the dramatic escape that would cement his status as one of the most elusive criminals of the 20th century. One must first comprehend the context of his imprisonment. By the early 1990s, Escobar's Medellin cartel had become so powerful and violent that it posed a direct threat to the Colombian state. The government, under intense pressure from both domestic forces and the United States, launched a massive manhunt for Escobar. However, the drug lord, leveraging his immense wealth and influence, negotiated a surprising deal with Colombian authorities. In June 1991, the Colombian Congress prohibited the extradition of Colombian citizens, a key demand of Escobar. In return, he agreed to surrender himself to authorities, but under one crucial condition: he would be housed in a prison of his own design. This prison, which would come to be known as La Catedral, was unlike any other correctional facility in the world. Constructed on a hillside overlooking Escobar's hometown of Envigado, was less a prison and more a luxury retreat. The facility boasted amenities that would make many high-end resorts envious. It included a football field, a bar, a jacuzzi, and even a waterfall. State-of-the-art communications equipment allowed Escobar to stay connected with the outside world, while comfortable living quarters housed him and his top lieutenants in style. Moreover, Escobar handpicked his own guards, effectively ensuring that his jailers were loyal to him rather than the state. The prison quickly earned the moniker Hotel Escobar, reflecting its lavish conditions and the degree of control Escobar maintained even while ostensibly incarcerated. This arrangement, while deeply problematic from a justice standpoint, was initially seen as a victory by the Colombian government. They had managed to get the world's most wanted drug lord to voluntarily enter confinement, albeit under highly unusual circumstances. However, this perception will change dramatically. Despite the comfortable conditions at La Catedral, Escobar continued to run his criminal empire from behind its walls. The communication equipment allowed him to stay in constant contact with his network, and he regularly received visitors who helped manage his business affairs. However, it was Escobar's continued involvement in violent crimes that would ultimately lead to his escape. In July 1992, news broke that Escobar had ordered the torture and execution of 4 of his former associates within the walls of La Catedral. The victims, Gerardo Moncada, Fernando Galeano, and 2 of their associates, had been brought to the prison under the pretext of a meeting with Escobar. Instead, they were brutally murdered, allegedly over a financial dispute. This brazen act of violence within the confines of his so-called prison was a step too far for the Colombian government. It shattered any illusion that Escobar was genuinely serving time or had reformed his ways. President Cesar Gaviria ordered that Escobar be transferred to a traditional maximum security prison. On July 22, 1992, Colombian authorities arrived at La Catedral to carry out the transfer order. However, they were met with a shocking discovery. Pablo Escobar was gone.
The government guarantees that he won't be harmed. Escobar, a ruthless killer, escaped from his own luxury prison when authorities tried to transfer him to another jail. NBC's David Bloom is in Medellin.
Hundreds of army troops scouring the countryside for Colombia's most wanted man. So far,
the drug lord, having been tipped off about the impending transfer, had orchestrated an elaborate escape. The details of the escape remain somewhat shrouded in mystery, with various accounts offering different versions of events. However, several key elements are generally agreed upon. Escobar likely received advance warning about the planned transfer from corrupt officials or sympathetic guards. A crucial component of the escape was a pre-prepared tunnel system. While some accounts suggest Escobar fled through a tunnel leading directly out of the prison, others claim he used a series of tunnels to evade the authorities within the prison grounds before making his final exit. There are strong indications that Escobar received help from certain elements within the Colombian military. Some reports suggest that soldiers who were supposed to be guarding the perimeter of the prison actually assisted in his escape. In the confusion of the escape, Escobar allegedly took several hostages, including the deputy justice minister and other officials who had come to oversee the transfer. Once outside the prison, Escobar was able to quickly disappear into the surrounding countryside, likely with the help of local supporters who saw him as a Robin Hood figure due to his charitable works in poor communities. The escape was a humiliating blow to the Colombian government and a stark demonstration of Escobar's power and influence. It revealed the deep-rooted corruption within the Colombian justice system and military, and highlighted the challenges of bringing such a powerful criminal to justice. The escape from La Catedral marked the beginning of a new phase in the hunt for Pablo Escobar. Now back on the run, he became the target of an intense manhunt involving Colombian authorities, rival drug cartels, and a US-backed task force known as Search Block. The escape had several significant consequences. It was an international embarrassment for the Colombian government, which faced severe criticism both domestically and internationally for allowing Escobar to essentially design and control his own prison, and then escape from it. In the 16 months between his escape and eventual death, Escobar unleashed a wave of violence across Colombia, including bombings and assassinations, in an attempt to force the government to negotiate. The escape hardened the resolve of both Colombian and US authorities to bring Escobar to justice, leading to increased resources being devoted to the manhunt. While Escobar had cultivated an image as a benevolent outlaw among some segments of the population, the escape and subsequent violence began to erode this support. The incident also spurred discussions about needed reforms in the Colombian justice and prison systems, highlighting the dangers of allowing powerful criminals to dictate the terms of their incarceration. Pablo Escobar's escape from La Catedral in 1992 stands as a testament to the drug lord's cunning, the reach of his influence, and the challenges faced by authorities in bringing him to justice. It exposed the deep-seated corruption within Colombia's institutions and the complexities of combating powerful criminal organizations. The escape, while a short-term victory for Escobar, ultimately set in motion the events that would lead to his downfall. It galvanized efforts to capture him and began to erode the myth he had carefully constructed around himself. Today, La Catedral stands as a crumbling ruin, a stark reminder of a turbulent period in Colombia's history. The story of Escobar's escape continues to fascinate, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of allowing criminals to accumulate too much power and influence.